Okay, this is Jarrell with the clerk of the board. I'm still showing it timing on here, but I just heard that the recording is started. So it should be that the broadcast is started as well. So, Chair Blois, if you'd like to call the meeting to order.
Okay. Okay. Welcome to the Carmichael Old Foothill Farm Cpac. I'm Chairman Nick Blois. Darrell, would you please call the roll to establish a quorum and then please read the announcements?
Yes. Member Burnett, Dax Conroy,
Here.
Member Feliciano,
Here.
McCoy, Rockenstein, Rosales, and Blois.
Here.
Okay, and you do not have a quorum. And on to
Okay.
the announcements. This meeting is live streamed and temporarily closed to in-person public participation. The clerk's office is in the process of hosting hybrid public meetings that will provide board members and members of the public with the option to participate in the meeting either in person or remotely. Thank you for your patience and support. To make a verbal comment at today's meeting, dial 916-875-2501 to provide your contact information. When the chair opens public comment for a specific agenda item or off-agenda matter, callers will be contacted by phone and transferred into the meeting to make their public comment. Written comments are always accepted. Send your email comment to boardclerk@zaccounty.net, and your comment will be routed to the board and filed in the record. And that concludes my announcements.
Okay. Thank you, Darrell. I'm Chairman Nick Blois, and I just wanted to make a few comments regarding meeting procedures and best practices. Please speak from your handset or headset. Mute devices when not speaking to minimize background noise. Announce your name when speaking on an agenda item so all participants and listeners are aware who has the floor. When the chair calls for a motion and a second, announce your name prior to making a motion or second, and the clerk will take a voice vote and confirm the results of the vote. But due to not having a quorum tonight, we will be not having any votes tonight. Okay, with that, Darrell, would you please call the first item?
Yes, item number 1 is the PLNP 2020-00235 6048 Grant Avenue tentative partial map located at 6048 Grant Avenue, approximately 145 feet west of Verlin Street in the Carmichael Old Foothill Farms community. Request for a tentative partial map and design review.
Okay. The county planning will go ahead.
Yeah, good evening, Cpac members. My name is Desiree Fox, presenting on this item. Confirming you all can hear me okay?
Yes.
All right, awesome. If we can advance to the next slide, please. The project site is located at 6048 Grant Avenue, as mentioned. The existing parcel is 0.35 acres and is developed with an existing single-family dwelling and a 598 square foot detached garage. The project site is zone RD5 and the surrounding land uses are single family homes also within the RD5 zoning district. Next slide. The project request before you today is a tentative parcel map to subdivide the 0.35 acre parcel into 2 lots. Both of the proposed parcels will meet the minimum lot size for an RD5 parcel. The project also includes a special development permit as the parcel 1 is going to retain the existing structures, the single family home and the detached garage. The detached garage is going to deviate from the required, the maximum amount of square footage allowed for an accessory structure based off of the square footage of the lot. So the project also includes a design review to determine compliance with the county-wide design guidelines. It has already gone to the DRAC, the Design Review Advisory Committee, where they recommended the site design was consistent with the county-wide design guidelines to the Subdivision Review Committee. Next slide. On your screen is the tentative parcel map. The proposed parcels will be accessed with the existing 16-foot wide driveway. Parcel 1 also has access off Grant Avenue, whereas Parcel 2 will just be exclusively accessed with the proposed driveway. Parcel 1 does have the existing dwelling and existing garage. The garage is going to be 4 feet, or is currently 4 feet from the interior property line. And to the, I believe that would be, that's north. I think that's to the east. The map is actually kind of flipped on the screen. And then it's 7 feet from what's going to be the rear property line. The outline indicated on parcel 2 shows a building envelope, but it shows buildable space, but it's not necessarily a building envelope. So although you see the amount of space that the house can take up, and it'll show that the proposed house will meet required setbacks, it is not an indication on the size of the proposed house for parcel 2. And there is an existing shed on the project site on parcel 2, but that is scheduled to be removed. Next slide. Few key points. The existing one-story dwelling is 930 square feet, and as mentioned, there is a detached garage. Parcel 1 is going to be accessed with that 16-foot wide private driveway, and all structures except for that shed will be retained. Class A street improvements are being required by site improvement permitting section, and there are a few notes from Department of Water Resources discussing drainage. There is going to be improvement plans for this project. So I believe Department of Water Resources, who has submitted their comments to staff, have indicated when they'll require a drainage study, and I believe it's during the improvement plan process. I think that's the majority of the key points for this item. We can advance to the next slide. That should be the final slide and concludes my presentation and introduction of the item. I'm available to answer any questions you all may have for staff, and the applicant, Ruslan Baczynski, is on the line as well. Thank you.
Okay.
I'm sorry, Desiree, I'm sorry. I just have to interrupt for just a second. This is Jarrell with the clerk of the board. We're having some technical difficulties over here, and we just want to be sure that this is actually being broadcasted because our windows are showing something different. So if you could just give me a few moments to verify that we are broadcasting, I will check back in just a second. I have to just stop the meeting for just one moment.
Okay,
This is Homa from the clerk's office. I just joined. It is showing, it is broadcasting.
Okay, thank you for the verification.
I want to make sure it is broadcasting.
Perfect. Thank you for the verification, Alma. Okay, I'm sorry. Chair Blois, you can continue on with the meeting.
Okay. We'll go ahead with the applicant, and if they want to give their presentation.
Thank you. My name is Russ. Desiree did a fantastic job explaining all the details. I have nothing more to add to that.
Okay. All right. So the next folks will be questions by Cpac members. So if any of our Cpac members have a question.
Michael Feliciano, District 3. Question regarding, I didn't hear mentioned from the county representative. I saw in the plan notes a variation from code regulations regarding the normal setback of 5 feet. What I think I saw reading the plans was a request for a setback of only 2 feet from the driveway easement. Is that correct? And can we talk a little bit about that? I wasn't sure I identified where that actually shows on the parcel maps.
Yeah, actually, Kimber, if I could have you cover that one. I'm actually not quite too sure if that's still a current deviation. I have to pull up my notes, and the screen, the parcel map on my screen is a little small.
Yeah, I believe. Oh, go ahead, Russ.
No, I'm Nick. I just.
Oh, sorry, Nick.
I was just gonna say I'm Chair Blois, Nick Blois. I'm seeing 5 feet on parcel 2, and I'm seeing that on parcel 1. So I'm just saying on slide. Oh shoot. Well, of this particular one, 1, 2, 3, 4th slide. If those are correct, there was public comment regarding a 2-foot clearance and a minimum is 5 feet. Then there was a question regarding if there's going to be 2 houses on parcel 2, and based on what I'm seeing, I'm not finding that as accurate.
Yeah, so this is Kimber Gutierrez, Senior Planner with Planning and Environmental Review. So the 2-foot deviation is for the existing dwelling from the private drive. So essentially with the split with the parcel map, the private driveway will now become a private drive serving more than just the existing dwelling. So because it would be serving more than just the one dwelling, we do have a setback requirement, a 5-foot setback requirement from the drive. And currently they would not be able to meet that because it's currently set back only 2 feet from the driveway.
So this is not really affecting the neighbors.
It's not
more
affecting
the
parcel
current
2.
house.
Correct.
It's affecting the current house.
Yeah, it's pretty much, you can also look at it as, how do I put this, as the deviation would be for a non-conformance that's currently present on site.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
There's only...
Sorry, can you repeat that, Kimber?
Yeah,
That
so like currently the existing home is already 2 feet from the driveway. So because the driveway will now become a private drive because it serves more than one unit, we have a different setback requirement. And since the existing home is already present in that location, they would be deviating from that requirement. So it really is a deviation in order to permit an existing situation or an existing condition of the site.
I understand. What I understand you, if let me know if I'm correct, is that the conditions aren't changing with regard to the 2-foot from the house, and that being a deviation from the 5-foot easement. The only thing that's changing is that now that same driveway, or if the driveways could be expanded, to serve that rear parcel. Okay. I guess my second question is that 16-foot driveway enough for emergency services such as fire to access the rear parcel?
Yeah, so Metro Fire has reviewed the project. I think typically if a private drive is exceeding a certain length, and I believe it's 150 feet, then the required width is 20 foot, a 20-foot wide private drive. Since this does not exceed that length, I believe they were comfortable with the 16-foot private drive.
Thank you.
Yep.
Any other questions from Cpac members?
Yes, Nick, I have one. This is Gail.
Go ahead, Gail.
I read the letter from the neighbors, and I'm not sure that based on what they wrote, that they understood that the 2-foot frontage is on the current driveway side, which wouldn't affect those neighbors. They asked the question, and I am going to repeat the question. I think Michael just asked it. And the parcel that they're dividing in back, is that going to, are there any limits? Can they put 2 new houses there, or is that for one home to be built?
So
go ahead, Desiree. Okay. No, go ahead.
Parcel 2, it will be subject to standards required in the RD5 zoning district, and they will have to adhere to all county development standards. So I can't tell you right now, Kimber, if you know, if this particular parcel will be able to support an accessory dwelling unit and a primary dwelling. But in the event it does, based off of code regulations, then yes, it could potentially support 2 dwellings, but that's considering that it meets the standards outlined in the code. So it's not as though that they can divide the parcel and then place 2 not permitted structures on the site. It would have to meet the requirements for an accessory dwelling unit on that parcel. That goes for square footage, setbacks, etc. And
Okay,
also,
so they're not really specifying how many homes they want to build there. And I do believe you can build Well, they would have to come back around if they wanted to build more than one house, depending on the side, because that size property, you could build a couple of houses. But that's not really addressed in this whole request for some options, right?
Right. And then Kimber, if you can fill in and let me know if would they be able to on parcel 2 have 2 dwellings be accessed with that 16-foot wide private drive, or would it have to be 20-foot wide in order for them to put an accessory dwelling unit on the site?
Yeah, I believe Metro Fire's conditions for this property limit it to 1 unit. And that, yeah, you're correct, Desiree, that if they wanted to do 2 back on that parcel, they would need to expand or enlarge the private drive to 20 feet.
Okay. That's all I had. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. All right, at this time, is there any public comment on this?
I'm going to just verify here. Let me just make sure we had one caller that potentially wanted to make a public comment for item number 1. So I'm verifying right now. Just one moment.
इंस्ट्रक्शंस दीजिए थोड़ा, क्या दिया है देखना है।
Chairperson Blois and Jarrell and Council, the person decided they did not want to make their public comment. So there are no other public comment.
No comment on this. Okay.
Thank you, Irma.
All right. Normally the protocol would be ask for a motion, but since we do not have a quorum, do we just move on to the next item?
Yes, at this time, if the council has no other questions or concerns or comments, we will move on to item number 2.
Okay.
And item number 2 is going to be the PLNP 2021-00283 Pick Store PCN, located at 4445 Auburn Boulevard on the northwest side of Auburn Boulevard, approximately 400 feet north of the Orange Grove Avenue intersection in the Carmichael Old Foothill Farms community. Request for a public convenience and necessity letter. And also, just for the record, if you are not speaking, can you please go ahead and mute your mic so then that way we don't have any interference. Thank you.
Hello?
Yes, hello. We are here to represent the Pick Store LLC.
Perfect.
1 second, please.
Yeah.
Okay, no problem.
Darrell, I was
Yes.
kicked off, and I don't know if any of the other board members got kicked off, so can we verify everybody's back?
Yes, I can just do a quick roll call.
Okay.
All right, so we have Dax Conroy.
Here.
Feliciano.
Here.
And Blois.
Here. Okay.
Okay, and just for the record, I just want to make sure, McCoy, Rosales, Burnett. Okay, so it's still only 3 members. And also just for the record, the applicant for item number 2, we will call on you to make your presentation after the county makes their presentation. Okay, thank you.
Right.
Okay. All right. So Darrell, you've already read this item, so we'll go with the planning staff.
All right. Thank you. Good evening, Cpac members. This is Kimber Gutierrez. I will be presenting the item tonight on behalf of Meredith Holsworth, who is the project manager. And I will be presenting the Pick Store PCN project. Next slide, please. The project site is located at 4445 Auburn Boulevard, approximately 400 feet north of the Orange Grove Avenue intersection in the Carmichael Old Foothill Farms community. The site is currently developed with an existing commercial strip center. Next slide. The subject parcel is zoned general commercial and is surrounded on all sides by commercial zoning and land uses. Next slide, please. The request before you all tonight is for a public convenience and necessity letter, or a PCN letter, from the board for issuance of a Type 20 liquor license from the State Department of Alcoholic Beverage Control. The license would be for a new convenience store, and the Type 20 license would only permit the sale of beer and wine. Next slide, please. On your screen now is a 1 mile radius map showing 5 active Type 20 licenses and 7 active Type 21 licenses. Vacant parcels are shaded in pink, and the daycare centers are labeled with a red square. Next slide, please. The board hears requests for PCNs when ABC receives a liquor license application in an area that is overconcentrated or designated as a high crime area. This project site falls under both of those categories. There is 1 off-sale license allowed in the census tract, and currently there are 3 active licenses. The Sheriff's Department has provided recommended conditions of approval to be imposed on the applicant's ABC license, and that was included as part of your Cpac package. Next slide, please. That concludes my presentation. I believe we received 1 public comment letter, mainly voicing concerns about overconcentration in this area. And it seemed that they were noting that there was a liquor store near the project site. So I am available for any additional questions.
Okay, we'll go ahead and hear the applicant first. Michael, we'll go ahead and hear the applicant first, and then we'll go to Cpac questions after that. Okay, thank you. Go ahead, applicant.
Yes, we were just wondering if we would be getting this liquor license, Type 20 license approved or not.
Well, that's.
I'm sorry, Kimber
Yes.
or Desiree. This
Yeah.
is not the final hearing body, but if Kimber or Desiree, Kimber or Desiree.
Yeah, I can cover that. Yeah, Ramesh, is that your name? I think that's your name. So tonight is for the Community Planning Advisory Council to review the project. This step in the process is to notify property owners and tenants within 500 feet of the property. And they will be providing a recommendation. Tonight we don't have a quorum, so they'll be providing recommendation comments to the Board of Supervisors, and the Board of Supervisors will be your final hearing body who will be either approving or denying the request.
Okay, so what exactly are we here to do tonight, and what do you want?
Well, I recommend that you kind of provide some additional information about your business and be available to answer any questions that the Cpac may have for you tonight.
All right. So do you want me to tell any kind of information right now, or just wait for any questions before you ask us?
Totally up to you.
Go ahead, applicant. Applicant, this is Chairman Blois. Our protocol is for you to make your presentation of why you believe you should have a liquor license or a license at this location.
All right. We were actually not ready about this, but definitely we don't have any slides or any written document with us that we can show it to you. But we're just opening up a convenience store with the beer and wine license requirement, which we have already requested. We just had requested that it could be more convenient to the community nearby. So we have already requested that in our PCN letter. And other than that, I think we don't have anything else that we can ask you for. It's just for the convenience of the community that's what we are doing. No other plans.
Okay. All right. Cpac members, just for clarity for Cpac members, because we have some new members, our protocol has always been that we have county planning make their presentation, followed by the applicant, and then we ask questions. So just wanted to make that clear for everybody. And so now is the time to ask questions. So Michael, did you have a question?
Yeah, and sorry, Nick, Michael Feliciano, District 3. I was just chiming in because Kimber had mentioned that there was only one public comment, but I actually read 2 public comments, and both expressing concern about the proposed convenience store. And so I guess this is a good time for me to chime in, just based on the two comments that I saw, and just based on the documents that we were just presented by the county. I see that this is an over concentration scenario, and so I'm not inclined. I know we don't have a quorum tonight, but I'm not inclined to support the issuance of an additional liquor license in an area where there's already over concentration of liquor license. If that's what I understood correctly from the county.
And I'm sorry, this is Darrell with the clerk of the board, and I just wanted to clarify that there were two written public comments for item number 2, and those were provided to the members.
Okay. At this time, Gail, do you have any questions? Because we'll go ahead and ask the applicant to address these questions.
Yes, I have a couple. Is this for single serve product? Like someone can walk in and buy one beer, or is that the kind of licensing that's being asked for? Hello?
Yes.
Applicant, you can go ahead and answer her question.
Okay, it's just the type 20 beer and wine license. Definitely someone can come and buy a single beer too. There won't be.
And this is does not include hard liquor, just beer and wine.
Well, it's actually going to be 6 packs, means single pack that I'm saying about.
Gail, just to be clear, this is not a hard alcohol. They do not have liquor.
Yes, so we won't be having any liquor. It's just beer and wine. That's it.
All right, and it's not single serve. It's
no. It's going to be the packs, whatever the packs the companies they provide for the sale.
But you could buy single serve. This is Chairman Blois. You can buy single serve there.
No, we can't.
You cannot sell a single beer to someone.
Yes.
Which type, and maybe the county can help us clarify, sorry, this is Michael, the type of liquor license, because I know there is a variation on liquor license. What I hear Gail asking, I echo the concern, like the 32-ounce, 40-ounce, 20-ounce packages of beer. What I hear you saying, Ramesh, is that your store only plans to serve 6 packs or higher. Is that correct?
Yes. So basically, as we would get it from the companies, the boxes or the packs, also the number of the bottles or the cans would be in those packs or boxes, so it will be full. We are not going to open them up and doing it one by one. So it will be whatever the companies are going to instruct us as.
And in the category of wine, would you be selling any of what we might refer to as the brown bag wine packages, your Thunderbird, Mad Dog 2020, of those kind of packages, which what we understand normally associated with purchasing for drinking outside, kind of, are you going to be serving that kind of product, selling that kind of product?
No. No, we would not be doing that. Can you hear me?
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Okay, so I think all the questions were asked. I do believe the level of concentration. Is there any more questions from Cpac members?
This is Gail, and my comment is I wish this 1 mile radius map also showed where there are other permits, liquor permits of any kind, in that area, in that circle, which it doesn't seem to show. But from my research, I found at least 10 various kinds of stores that sell liquor in that region. So that's all for me.
Okay. And then applicant, did you have any response to that?
To the type of licenses that have been given by the county?
No, that there's too many. I believe Gail's comment was that there's too many licenses in this area. Why add another one such as yours?
Since we really, I can't argue on that, but I would still say that it's just an added benefit to the community nearby. If the liquor stores are, if the liquor is quite far away, and if people, it's just an added convenience to the people who live nearby. That if they don't have to go far, and it's just for the public safety as well. That means it's just that public safety, that they don't have to go far away, travel far away for beer and wine. They can just pick it up on the way back home, or if there's a party going on and at home, and if something they are short on that, they can come and pick it up from us. So it's just an added safety for the community. It's just that our main intention is convenience to the community. That's it. We don't want to do hard liquor. It's just soft drinks, beer and wine, and convenience store.
Okay.
So our main intention is to provide more convenience to the community nearby, whether there are stores under 1 mile radius or even half-mile radius, just nearby people.
Okay. Is there currently a convenience store in that suite right now in the building?
No, there's. I suppose, according to my knowledge, there's no other store like this of a same kind of business.
Okay, so currently there is nothing like your business at that location.
There's a gas station, but it's not. It's just not in that community, I suppose. There's a gas station nearby, though.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, thank you for your time. I think, Darrell, I just need to be clear. Do we close? We hear from public comment at this time?
We do not have any verbal public comment for item number 2 at this time.
Okay,
and
so applicant won't have anything to respond to. So then we move to Cpac discussion. So at this time we close all dialogue, and then amongst the 3 Cpac members we make our comments that we want to forward to the supervisors, or the next step.
Yeah, so if you guys have any other, comments or things that you want to have passed on, you can totally do that. I'll notate those.
Okay. I think I'll go ahead with Michael first, and then Gail, and then myself. And if you each have comments, we can have Darrell take notes of that to pass forward, since we can't have a vote tonight. So go ahead, Michael. I know you had some comments.
Thank you, Nick. I guess I reside in the same space that I was when my line of questioning and following up Gail's questions. My concern is that we're currently discussing with this scenario, adding a liquor license that in an area that's already identified as over concentrated. And so, I would like to find out, and I'm sorry, wasn't able to do research ahead of time, the type of liquor license that restricts specifically the single serve beer, the 32 ounce, the 20 ounce, the 40 ounce, because I've seen that applied effectively in situations where there was high vagrancy, where there was, the tendency towards people panhandling nearby so that they could go and get themselves a 40 ounce beer at the nearest store. And if we would at least had some identification and assurance that type of liquor license was going to be applied with that type of restriction, I might feel a little bit reassured. But I live very close to the Auburn Boulevard area, and I'm familiar with the concentration of convenience stores, and I don't think that there's, and I believe even the public comment that I read, that one person is concerned because there's the proposed location, and there's another convenience store that sells beer and wine, I think like 400 feet away or something like that. And so I'm just not convinced that this would be an entirely good benefit to the community. And so that's my comment.
Okay, thank you. Gail, did you have comment?
No, I think I'm finished. I'm glad to hear single serve. If I'm to understand what single serve is, I think that's a benefit not to have that in that location. I think wine and beer is a little bit safer, but I am concerned about the concentration of access to liquor in that particular area, which tends to have a history of having a lot of vandalism and vagrancy. And so I'm a little bit concerned, and not just for the community, but for the people working in the store. That's all my comment.
Okay, thank you. I did have a quick question for county planning. It looks like, did the sheriff, are they the ones that limit the quantity? Because I'm looking at the sheriff's letter, and it prohibits quantities shall not be sold fewer than 3. It prohibits sizes sold less than 750 milliliters, which is basically an ordinary bottle of wine. So they can't sell those 50 milliliter one-shot servings. So is the sheriff the one who dictates this on these type 20s?
Yeah, I was just looking that up myself. So on ABC's website, they just define the type 20 license as it says authorizes the sale of beer and wine for consumption off the premises where sold. So I think that's correct, Chair Blois, is that the sheriff's conditions that get put on the liquor license will dictate whether or not it could be single serve or not. I don't think ABC has any more like specific standards or requirements for that.
So, okay, yeah, that's what I was just being clear on. And since you're on that website, is it type 22 or type 24 that has hard liquor?
Type 21 authorizes the sale of beer, wine, and spirits for consumption off the premises. Yeah.
Well, I knew the number was close. Yeah. So
yes.
So just to be clear for our Cpac members, I just wanted to make the comment that type 20 is beer and wine only. It's when you have hard alcohol spirits, that's a type 21. So yes. This is a lighter license, but due to the crime and the concentration, the sheriff has put additional concerns. And I would echo those concerns of the community that there are currently too many businesses like this. I mean, it's one thing if there was already a convenience store here, but there isn't. So they're adding another one in a heavily concentrated area with crime. And I would, my recommendation to the Board of Supervisors or our next step would be not to grant this request. I think the concentration is too much. So I think, Darrell, you have our comments, and I think that's all that's necessary. So I think this is our last item, correct, Darrell?
Yes, this would have been your last voting item if you guys were voting tonight. So now we are on to 4, which is the staff updates.
Okay.
Thank you. Thank you, board members. We'll be leaving the meeting now.
Thank you.
Thank you for your consideration. Thank you.
Thank you.
Hello again. This is Kimber. I do not have a staff update for you all tonight.
Okay, that's no problem.
This is Darrell with the clerk of the board. I did want to give a quick staff update. I just want to let you guys know that there was a new member appointed at the last Board of Supervisors meeting, and he has already begun with doing his requirements to be a participant on the board, actually be a voting member. So hopefully by your next meeting, he will be on the agenda and will be participating with you guys. And his name is Jonathan Chengiz.
Okay.
All right,
Thank
and
you.
that concludes my staff updates.
Okay. All right. So the next item would be our Cpac member comments. Did any of our, well, Darrell, is this the time that I could mention my email to Alma?
Yes.
Okay. So I'm going to start out first by just mentioning this one item. We have, as a Cpac, probably in the last 2 years had to change our meeting times about 4 times. And I think there could be a over concentration of meetings on the third Wednesday of the month. My suggestion was to find out what days county planning and the clerk's office might recommend to change us to, but I was wondering if the second Wednesday might be a better day to meet. So I wanted to just discuss that with the clerk and planning and our 2 Cpac members that are here, if they would be okay moving to the second Wednesday.
And as we were speaking about that through the email, that would be something that would actually, because I believe in your bylaws, that it does state the certain time, like day of the week that the meeting should be held, unless of course there's a special meeting or what have you, your regular meetings. You would have to have that put on the agenda, and so then that way the community is the public is privy to that, and then it can be up for discussion, and then you guys can vote on that matter.
Okay. So basically just mentioning it to him is sufficient, and then we'll just discuss the specific day next month?
Yes. So now that you have brought it up and you have brought it to our attention, we are going to go ahead and have that agendized. So then that way everyone's involved, which is the clerk of the board and planning, can chime in on if that is suitable and if we can accommodate that need to move that meeting from the whatever the council wants to move it to, whether it be that second Wednesday, which is better than the third for you guys at this point. So there'll be further discussion at that time.
Okay.
So it's just we can't discuss it now because it's not agendized. But go ahead, Alma. You want to chime in?
Oh, yes. I just wanted to say that we do move meetings around due to conflicts with other Cpacs. Generally, Wednesdays and Thursdays, we have at least 2 Cpacs already scheduled for every Wednesday and Thursday because there's 14. There's 14 Cpacs. So, and they meet on Tuesdays sometimes. Some Cpacs meet on Tuesdays, but because the board is now extending their meetings, we're just going to have to look at the calendar and try and work around that. But I did talk to Chris not too long ago, and we were talking about trying to pair Cpacs that have many projects with other Cpacs who don't meet so often. So we're going to try and look at that and hopefully bring back some dates or the days of the week or the weeks that will work with the Cpac and work for the planning staff and the clerk of the board.
Okay. Yeah, I just know, just as a comment to you, Alma, I believe Tuesdays and Thursdays are dates that some of the other members might be involved in other community meetings. So park boards, for example, I know there was a conflict with member Rockenstein about today. So I believe that was park board related. So
and Tuesdays would not be considered anyway. We already have a problem with Tuesdays because Tuesdays the board meets. So as you know, they've been meeting, their meetings have been lasting 10 plus hours. So that means we're having the board of supervisors meeting, and the meetings just continue on until, and yesterday we started a board meeting, 3 p.m. board meeting for the board of supervisors, and we went and had a Cpac meeting while we're having the board meeting at the same time. So, so yeah, the Tuesdays won't work anyway because the board has extended and Wednesdays are going to be really hard, but it's going to be, it's going to be a juggle. It's going to be a balance. We'll figure out a way.
Yeah, I've just been seeing this conflict so many times that I just thought I'd bring it up. Okay, well, we can discuss that next month. So, okay, thank you. Any comments from Cpac members?
Michael,
Gail
District
or
3
Michael?
here. Yeah. Feliciano, District 3. Just to chime in on that off the record, the second Wednesdays of the month is when I'm also on
I'm sorry, Michael.
I am also on the board of the Old Foothill Farms Neighborhood Association, and we have our meetings on the second Wednesday of the month. I know that's one that you mentioned. So just don't mean to complicate things further, but that's an obligation that I have for the second Wednesdays. So
Okay.
I know we'll be discussing that officially once it's on the agenda, but I just wanted to chime in with that regarding.
Okay. Gail, did you have any comments?
No, it's life and calendars are moving targets, bouncing balls. And so you figure if we get in 8 or 9 meetings a year and a few of them have to be changed, I'll be as flexible as I can be.
Okay. Okay. All right. Okay. Gail, did you have any other questions outside of this topic?
No, I'm good. Thank you, Nick.
Okay. How about you, Michael?
Outside of this topic, I'm curious to hear in the meeting scenario. And first of all, before I go on, I just want to echo Gail's sentiment around flexibility. I would make every effort to be as flexible as I can. If we start talking about Thursdays or so on and so forth, that's fine. My question is, in these scenarios where we don't have a quorum and we have items like that we just moved through and we've made these comments that are not an actual vote, how does that work moving forward? What exactly does the county supervisor receive from us, and what does it circle back around to when we do have a quorum, or what weight does it hold?
This is Darrell with the clerk of the board. Planning can also chime in on this after I make my comments, but typically how it goes is that the planning and the clerk of the board takes your notes, and usually what happens is planning will take their notes and they will put together whatever their staff recommendation is going to be that they provide to the board of supervisors, and usually your comments will be part of their staff recommendation that they give to the board of supervisors. That's usually how it goes. So although you guys did not have an official vote on any of the items, your comments will be passed on to the board of supervisors as part of the staff recommendation packet to them about whichever item it is. Planning staff, I don't know if you guys also wanted to chime in on that.
Yeah, no, that's correct, Jarrell. We, in our staff report to the final hearing body, we do have a specific section dedicated to the Cpacs. So essentially, we will be summarizing the comments that we've received and including those in that section of the staff report. And then that will help us make a recommendation, a staff recommendation to the final hearing body.
Thank you for that clarification.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. All right. Is that it, Michael?
It is indeed for me.
Okay. Thank you, Michael. Okay. Darrell, I think we just have, if there's any other non-item related public comments, right?
Yes, and we do not have any verbal public comments at this time, and that would be for item number 6. And also, I just want to say for the record, there were no verbal public comments for item number 4 or 5, which was the staff updates, and then your council member comments. So
Okay.
now, if you're ready, we can adjourn.
Okay. With that, we can adjourn. Thank you very much. We'll see you next month.
Thank you. You
Thank
guys
you.
have a nice
Thank you.
evening.
Yeah, have
Bye-bye.
a good one. Bye-bye.
Good to see all of you. Thank you.
Bye-bye. Thank you, Michael.
Bye.